Okay, so first things first, welcome to my rather crappy looking office, and welcome to my review. It'll be a two-part review actually, of this baby, which is the new Lee SW150 Mk2 holder system for these rather wonderful, very large front element wide angle lenses. This one in particular is the venerable Nikon 1424 f2.8, and it is rather venerable, a bit like its owner, me, been around a bit, and but you can buy this filter holder system for the new Canon lens, which is the Canon 14mm f2.8. There's the Nikon 14mm f2.8 that it will work on as well, and there's a Samyang one 14mm and a Sigma, and I think Takina do one as well. 16, whether it's a fixed one or a zoom lens, I can't remember. I think it's a zoom lens actually, 16 to 28 mil. Now the other thing is the camera's where you are, and the monitor that I'm recording on is over here. So if I keep doing this and looking at the monitor, you see my eye line change. Smack me around the face, but I humbly apologise, because it's just the way my office is set up. Need to get something sorted over that, but well, never mind. So I'm waffling. Yeah, the filter holder itself's been around for a while. The original SW150. I immediately jumped all over one in a shop when I first saw one, and I thought, I want to use ND filters on this 1424. Now I'm not going to admit I'm not a big filter user, but I am a very big 10-stop ND filter user, and 6-stop as well. And my normal lens that I use filters on is this equally as venerable Nikon 2470 f2.8, and that just takes the normal 77mm screw-in filters. My ND is made by B&W, the one I used to use on this, and of course this will also take the more conventional 100 by 100 Lee filter system. And you know, I mean, we've always been able to use the big stopper on the 100 by 100 system and the little stopper should we feel the desire to. But the original SW150 had a slight problem that when you put filters in, there was a gap behind the filter, and if you got light coming from behind the camera, there was a chance that it would hit the backside of the filter and shoot down in front of the, well, basically flare across the front element of the lens. So it leaked light, and you know, there was quite a few homemade devices in the form of baffles that various people came up with to actually get around the problem, but Lee have now fixed the problem with this flexible plastic baffle here, and but apart from that, the rest of the system is machined aluminium, and you know, it's very good. But the big reason that I never subscribed to it in the first place was Lee always said they were never going to bring out the big stopper or little stoppers in 150 by 150 format. Ha ha! Ha ha! Lovely. Stick it in the oven, Harry. Yeah, beautiful. 150 by 150, big stopper, yeah, and little stopper. 10 stops, 6 stops. I'll show you the filters in a minute. Well, I'll show you one of them. But you know what we use ND filters for, and just smoothing out water, nice drag effects on clouds in the sky, etc., etc. And you know, it's just no landscape photography should be without them. Certainly not in my opinion anyway. The fact that we can now get them made buying this for me, for my 1424, an absolute no-brainer. And I did have to pay a small king's ransom. I consider it to be a rather large king's ransom actually, to purchase this. I purchased this from Calumet's Manchester boutique via my mate John Willis. Hello John. And one thing I will say, I mean, look at this, these red anodised aluminium bits. They've just got to make you a better photographer. I mean, it stands to reason, doesn't it? But you know, go faster stripes. Right, so filters themselves, the big stopper now comes in a tin. For goodness sake, if you buy these, keep them in the tins, right? And if I open the tin up, make sure I'm trying to open the right side of it. I'll put it down on the desk, over by the corner, and there we go. One Lee 10 stop big stopper filter, glass. Don't drop it, for goodness sake, otherwise that's 140 quid up the swanny, down the toilet, or wherever else you drop it. I don't know how fragile they are. I mean, they are. I mean, they're exactly the same as the 100 by 100s, just bigger. And the 100s by 100s, I've used those often enough now. They are fairly robust items, but I am going to put it back in the. See, you can't see through it, can you? No, you can see the street across the road, but you cannot see through that filter. And so basically, for those of you who don't know what it's doing, it's actually cutting out 10 stops of light from entering your, well, hitting your sensor or entering your lens even. And so whatever shutter speed was indicated by your meter before you put this on, you've now got 10 stops less light, so your shutter speed has to be 10 stops longer. And you know, there's lots of ways you can calculate it. You can use your fingers, you can use an abacus, yeah, you can simply count the stops on the dial of your camera, or we could do it the old-fashioned way and use an app on your iPhone, your Android phone, or we could use this that Lee have kindly included. Let's see if the autofocus will work. Come on, there we go. Just tilt it down so you can see it, and then you can see a 30th of a second with the big stopper becomes 30 seconds, and so on. So they give you these inside the tin with each filter. And come on, focus on me. Yeah, there you go. I was looking at the monitor again, but I have to look at the monitor to check that the camera's in focus. And so you get one of these in the big stopper, and you get one in the little stopper, and obviously the values are different on the little stopper than they were on the one I've just shown you. You also get a rather sexy looking little brochure that they give you with one or two nice pictures on, and there we go. Yeah, you've seen it all now. And but like I say, for goodness sake, keep them in the tin. It just, you know, because if you drop one, it's going to be tears time. It is for me anyway. Yeah. And but like I say, use whatever method you feel happiest with, correcting for the filter on your exposure, because if you don't get it right, there will be a rip in the space-time continuum, and Vulcans and all sorts of other nasty aliens will come flooding through and invade the Earth, and photography will be banned. Yes. Okay, so what I want to do next is actually show you how to mount this filter system onto the lens, and it's a simple process, but it's not quite as straightforward as you might think. So I'm going to twiddle around with the position of the camera a bit, and we'll dive right on in, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so there we go, we fiddled with the camera a little bit, and now we can see all the components of the filter holder system. And what have we got? We've got this, which is the compression ring. Okay, we've got this, which is the locking ring, and the back side of the locking ring is the one that has the intended lens fitment. The intended lens fitment. It has the lens on it, which is start again. It's got the lens name on it that it is intended for. God, put me teeth in. And put that one down there. And this is the important one. This is the front ring. Okay, and you'll notice the front ring has these four little, I don't know if you can see them, four little tabs on it. And these tabs actually locate in these little grooves or dips in your lens hood, in between the short petals and the long petals, and it holds it in registration. And I apologise if you can hear some idiot on a motorbike revving up outside my office window. So anyway, the thing is, this is the only component of the actual ring assembly which will fit on the lens from the front. These other two components have to be put together correctly and then assembled from the back of the lens. So basically, to attach the system in the first place, you have to take your lens off the camera. So whether you fancy doing that out in the field or in the comfort of your own home, well, that's entirely up to you, but I do it before I go out. And so let's just look at these two components for a bit. Here's one of the make yourself a better photographer components, because of this beautiful red anodized aluminium. Num, 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 num. And you'll notice that the this here compression ring, did I call it a locking ring before? I don't know. Anyway, compression ring. You'll notice it's got a flange on one side. Okay, this flange goes towards the front of the camera. This narrower end, which has actually got a recessed flange in it, if you can see, that goes to the back of the camera, back of the lens. So if we take this locking ring and we lay it flange side down on the table, and then we take the compression ring and have the outer flange at the top, and we drop it in, and then what we'll do is we lift up and we have an assembly that looks like that. Okay, and these threads here engage with these threads on the front ring, and they do it rather noisily. So if you want to add a very, very, very thin smear of something like Reloader's case lube to it, or just basically rub the threads with a wax candle, it might just stop it from squeaking a little bit. But anyway, I haven't done anything to lubricate these threads, and you will most likely hear them do a bit of squeaking and squealing in a moment. So with the front ring located on the lens hood, we'll then stand the lens in the middle like this of our compression and locking ring assembly, and we just basically lift them together, and just get rather awkward, this stuff. I'll try and do it so I'm not blocking your view with the camera. So this is going to be double awkward for me, because I usually do it the other way around. I don't want to make it look like a very hard job, but knickers to it, I'm going to have to do it this way, and basically hold it and just spin the lens, and then you'll suddenly see that the rings will start, the threads will start to engage, and I think they're just about done now. Yeah, so don't force it. That's about as far as you'll get there. Then grab the lens, hold it sort of down a little bit and just rotate it. Rotate that locking ring. It's got a knurled edge to it here, so you can grip it. And ooh, there you go. There's the squealy bit. And there we are. Now, I did see somebody doing a demonstration of this the other day, and they actually welded it up with it on the camera. And I just thought, well, okay, lens mount. No, don't torque that lens mount up. So do it all with the lens off the camera. And there we go. We're ready to install the actual filter holder itself. Just a couple of notes on this. We've got this adjuster here, this clamping screw, and as I turn it in, you'll see we've got this sprung steel band. Now this is a friction band which grips on the large flat flange on the compression ring, not compression ring, the locking ring, oh god, ring, on the black ring. And so we unscrew it, so this is at full expansion, and basically plop it onto the lens hood and then just do it up. No need to welly it up, just finger tight will do. And the lens hood is free to, the actual filter holder I should say, is free to rotate around the lens axis. So there you go, that's basically it. It's now ready to put on the camera, and you're ready to go off and find some nice watery seascapes or waterscapes. Well, they would have water in them, wouldn't they? Some nice seascapes or waterscapes, and do your thing with your 6-stop or your 10-stop ND filter. Just a couple of things of note. One, on the actual filter holder itself, the actual slot arrangement that we have on the front for actually retaining the filters on the front of the holder, when I got mine, if I grab them like that, so you can still, can you hear them? Can you see them moving? Yeah. So what you actually need to do is just make sure that these screws are as tight as they'll go. Don't over tighten them, just get a little Phillips head screwdriver and nick it in there and just nip the screws up so they're as tight as possible, because anything we can do to stop this lateral movement, if you actually look at the gap there on the can you see that, the gap there on this anodized block, if I push, I've now sort of closed it a little bit, and you need these as far or as close together this way as possible, so you're getting the maximum grip out of them, so they hold your filters tightly. You don't want them out here this way, because they're not holding onto the filters quite so tightly, and you just never know, do you? Your filters might slide out of your grooves and break on the floor, and you will cry, because that's just cost you £140. So anyway, there you go. But that's just a little tip for you there. But what is of a, oh, one other thing, where have I put it? Here. You do get with the kit this case. It's not for the filters, they don't fit, but this case is basically for the actual filter holder itself, and it is a monstrously tight fit, and basically I just can't be bothered with it, so all I'll do is just chuck it away. That will go in my camera bag. I can keep it nice and squared away in my camera bag, and I'm not sitting there struggling with a stupid case which is too small. So I'll just put that over there a bit, because I just want to talk about lens caps. Lee give you, well, they don't give Lee they don't give you anything inside this with this kit, you know, but this comes supplied because the normal lens cap won't stay on. See, oh, won't stay on. So they give you this, and basically you've got your difficult job of attaching the rings done and dusted. So you pull that over there, and now your lens is protected. Not. If I just press down with my finger there, suddenly it stops, and that's because I am now touching the front element of the lens. And this thing offers dust protection and, I suppose to a degree, water ingress protection, but for shock and bump or contact protection, it's about as much use as a chocolate bloody teapot. So what I'm going to do is basically use my existing one, and use either a crossed rubber bands or a bit of gaffer tape or whatever, just to hold it on, because I can knock that against a rock all day long and I won't come any closer than what, 3/4 of an inch from my front element. Superb. But of course, because these short petals, because all these lenses have friction thick front caps, and the actual short petals are needed to actually grab onto these grip tongues in here. And so of course, because it can't get at the short petals and it can't get all the way down the long petals, it doesn't grip very well, so it'll fall off. But anyway, like I said, ubiquitous piece of gaffer tape or a couple of rubber bands will hold that on, not a problem. And we're basically, you know, once you've got that on, you're ready to put it on the camera, rock up, frame your landscape up, put this on, put your filters in, and start shooting glorious, beautiful, long exposures of moving water and make them look all smooth and silky and like milk. Yummy. Okay, so here we go. Got the lens on the camera, and we just put the filter holder on like that, tighten up the locking screw, and then we can take one of our filters, and we need to put the foam edge this way towards the filter holder, and we go for the slot right at the back and just gently push it down and engage it in the filter slot, I should say. Got the little grips going, and we push it all the way down until the foam, if you can just see, if I spin this camera round, you should be able to see it. Just work it so that the top edge of the foam is level with the top edge of the baffle, light baffle, and there we go. And we are now ready to rock and roll and take some nice dreamy looking waterscapes. So I'll see you in the next part of this video, which might be a week away, might be 2 weeks away, just depends on time and weather. Okay, so anyway, I'll see you soon.